Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. I complain about a lot of perks on this channel, mostly second chance perks, and you know which ones I'm going to be referring to. When I bring that up, you know what I'm already talking about, so I'm not going to go into that again. But I do like to complain about perks on this channel because DBDs and balance is probably the only thing I really actually like capital H hate about the game is the games and balance, and I think perks have a lot to do with it. But there is one survivor perk that is incredibly strong that whenever I face it or interact with it, I never worry about it. I'm not like, oh, well, that's unfair or that's BS or anything. I think it's a perfectly designed perk, and I think it's completely fair despite its immense strength. So let's go ahead and talk about the perk Deliverance. If somehow you've missed what Deliverance does, once you unhook somebody in the trial and you get hooked next, when you do the attempt to get off the hook, which is usually only a 4% chance, you actually just yeet off the hook. You just get off the hook for free just because you unhook somebody else in the trial, and then you're broken for a certain period of time until you are able to be healed again. Now, as we unfortunately found out through the wonderful gift of Circle of Healing, having the ability to do things that usually require teamwork to do by yourself is an incredibly powerful tool in Dead by Daylight. The game is designed around the idea of having 4 people, and when there's something that requires 2 people, the game is balanced around those 2 people doing that singular thing together. And this is important for balancing towards the killer side of things because wasted time not on gens is so important for the killer's pressure and the killer's continued chance to win. Interrupting a heal, super important for a killer. Interrupting a hook save, super important to the killer. Stopping these teamwork aspects from happening on the killer side of things is super important for the way that killers can play the game. Having something that requires 2 people on a team being able to be done by yourself is incredibly powerful. But what makes a perk like Deliverance fair, whereas a perk like Circle of Healing seems unfair? Because both are essentially a 5th teammate, right? The 5th teammate on Circle of Healing is essentially just sitting in the corner waiting for everybody to come by so they can heal them. In Deliverance's cases, there's a 5th teammate that can do nothing else but just unhook you whenever you get hooked, as long as you hook somebody, unhook somebody else earlier in the match. So what makes that 5th teammate busted with Circle of Healing but like fair with Deliverance? I think what Deliverance has that Circle of Healing doesn't, that makes it such a fair perk, and a perk that I really don't ever complain about, even though it has a massive effect and can literally save a match. I don't complain about that perk, but I complain about Circle of Healing. It's just Circle of Healing just kind of happens. Yes, it does take time to put the totem down, but the uses are infinite, and there's really no drawback to doing it besides the very little, and I would say minimal, wasted time. The very minimal wasted time. With Deliverance, there's not 1, but 2 drawbacks that there is to having this incredibly powerful ability. Of course, Deliverance does not activate unless you have unhooked somebody else in the trial earlier, as opposed to Circle of Healing, which you just have at the beginning and can just place down whenever you want as soon as you find a totem. Even when you do that, so you've already fulfilled a prerequisite, right? Like, you've already contributed to the match to have Deliverance go off, which I think would have been fine on its own. But on top of that, once you do unhook yourself because you unhook somebody early in the trial, you are broken for a certain period of time. So even if you just yeet off hook, you can't be healed right away. So you still have to play the game partially in a state where you can't be healed for a certain amount of time. So in a sense, this perk has 2 training wheels on it to make sure it's not busted, while still retaining a very strong and game-changing ability that helps the survivors in an immense way, as opposed to Circle of Healing that, you know, just goes down for free just for a small time limit, and then when you kick it, you can just put it back up infinite amount of times, and there's kind of just no limit to it. Both of these perks have this 5th teammate element to them, but I think it's pretty obvious that Deliverance understands that it's an incredibly strong and incredible perk that can sway the entire balance of a match one way. But to compensate for that, it has a prerequisite and a drawback that happens afterwards. That way it kind of balances itself out, because if you Deliverance and the killer is around, you're just going to get downed again. Obviously, you're probably running DS with it, but that's a whole different thing. But if you just run into the killer, you're broken. You can't just heal up right away, so you can get hit if you play that wrong. Also, if you're not playing altruistic, or you get caught out of position and you're found first, you don't even get your Deliverance throughout the match. Like, it's just a dead perk slot. So this perk, despite being able to sway the entire flow of a match in the favor of survivors, just like has so many things that would make it balanced, make it fair, make it ways that it can be used wrong or unable to be used. you're going to have a perk that changes the entire flow of the match in your favor, but you just also have to have kind of the training wheels on it, the drawbacks to it. That way it seems like, hey, this could happen and this could be a big change for the match. But at the same time, you have to use it right and you have to contribute to the game before you just, you know, start using this crazy strong thing. And I honestly think that's like the only problem with DBD perks that are broken, is that like it's not bad that there are strong perks in Dead by Daylight. It's just that some perks like Deliverance have prerequisites and drawbacks because they know they're powerful perks and it's fair. But then some perks just kind of happen. Like you just get free pressure or a free godlike perk with no prerequisites and no drawbacks. And it's like when you have that kind of power just completely unchecked, that's when it gets frustrating. And I think that's why I love Deliverance so much as a well-designed perk, because it understands its strength. And with that comes a prerequisite and a drawback. That way it's not just, oh, well, I just get free pressure, like a free tide turning perk, just cause, you know? And I feel like there's so many of those, but luckily they have said that they are going to be looking at 40 perks for a balance change this year. So they're on it. So it kind of makes, you know, a lot of my arguments and stuff kind of redundant, because they are looking at it. They are going to change those things. Hopefully they do change them well, but you know, it's just stuff to think about just in terms of like design philosophy, why Deliverance works as a perk and doesn't really get massive hate, whereas other ones do. And it's because of the things that we had listed. But yeah, that's it for this video, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I do upload daily though, so hopefully I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. But if I don't, I will see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.